I think we are good. So good afternoon again, or good morning, depending upon what part of the country you're calling in from. I'm Keith Birkin, Regional Sales Director with One America. Thank you so much for joining me today. We are going to learn about the One America Care Solutions product suite, but I'm not just going to be going over our products with you today. I want to show you how to present these solutions to your clients. I'll show you how to have the conversation with your clients. Very simple, two-question approach. It's very effective. And what I love to say, this turns illustrations into applications. I talk to a lot of agents and advisors that tell me they present long-term care linked benefits often to their clients and often don't get as many as much of the results that they'd really like to see. I'm going to show you what's going to move that needle by really setting up that conversation in with what's working. At the end, I'm going to show you some tools and resources that we have. You definitely want to stick around. I'm going to present you with a virtual consumer workshop selling program. This is a turnkey, ready to go program, really easy to use and extremely effective, where an enormous amount of the marketing and work is actually done for you. So I think you're really going to like what we're going to cover today. This is not just going to be a product dump. We're going to take some time, really show you how to position these products and make them a big part of your distribution. Some quick disclosures. Not all organizations are approved to sell the entirety of our product suite. Generally, if you're an independent agent, this is not going to impact you. But if you're a part of a larger sales organization, please, before you present one of our solutions to a client, please check with your back office and make sure that that solution is actually approved. Before I get into how our products work, I want to talk about why this is so important, why this needs to be something that you're talking about with your clients, how expensive this is, what your clients can expect as far as length of care, what that's going to cost them, and then of course, how to position this and really set this up with your clients and set up the need. Let's start off by talking about how expensive this is. And by the way, this comes from the One America Cost of Care Calculator, which if you're unaware of, that's a phenomenal tool and resource that we have, and I'll make that available to you. You'll get information about that in our follow-up email. But what we're showing you, based on 2021, 1 year, and this is on a median average across the country, 1 year in a nursing home, it's roughly $114,000. Now that's today. If we assume a pretty modest 3.5% inflation increase 10 years down the road, we're looking at roughly $168,000. 20 years down the road, we're looking at almost $250,000. That's for 1 year in a nursing home. And again, that's just the median average. Now, this is just showing you with an inflation index of 3.5%, which is pretty darn close to what the cost of inflation is on long-term care right now. But what this isn't showing you is that there's 4 trends that are happening that are massively impacting the cost of long-term care and how this affects the public. The first of those 4 trends are the baby boomers. Now, the baby boomers are now the second largest segment of our population, nearly 80 million people. And the first wave of baby boomers started hitting their 80s just 2 years ago. Roughly 10,000 people a day are turning age 70. So what is this telling you? The second largest segment of our population are going to start getting into their 80s within the next 10 years, the prime years when they're going to need long-term care. So as it stands right now, there's already a pretty big dissonance, a big separation between supply and demand. In the next 10 years, when you have the second largest segment of our population hitting that demand segment, watch what happens to cost, of course, as demand massively outweighs supply. Secondly, we have medical technology. Now, this is a good thing because what was killing us 30 years ago is today considered chronic conditions. We're living longer. High blood pressure, high cholesterol, diabetes, a variety of cardiovascular disorders. These were death sentences 30 years ago, but now they're much easily diagnosed And they're very manageable with a variety of procedures and medications. We're simply living longer, which is good. But of course, we have to plan for that living into our 80s and our 90s. Our third are family dynamics. Now pay attention to this, because by the way, this is what sells and sets up the fact that your clients come to the understanding that they have a lack of a plan in place. Probably won't surprise you to know that 75% of all long-term care is provided at home. What might surprise you, though, is to know that 70% of all home care is provided by family members. But those dynamics are changing because you have mom and dad retiring to warmer climates like Florida, California, and Arizona, and the kids are staying put. So that dynamic is massively changing as well. And then lastly, we have the government. 40% of all long-term care is paid by the government. The entitlement programs, Medicare and Medicaid, and they are largely unsubstantiated. It's one of the reasons why the government is consistently introducing new legislation, or trying to at least, to further privatize long-term care, the Pension Protection Act, the Deficit Reduction Act, and what have you. But the bottom line here is the government is consistently also making it harder to qualify for the entitlement programs. The Medicaid look-back period was 5 years, went to 3 years, and is now back to 5 years. But the bottom line is, where long-term care costs are roughly 40% of all Medicaid spending, a lot of the state Medicaid funds are starting to really get impacted by this. And what you're going to see is it's going to ultimately become harder to qualify for Medicaid, whether it's this administration or the following administration. The entitlement programs, when they look at what they're going to look like in the next 20 years, they're starting to look like they're going to have a lot of fiscal issues. Now, the numbers that we're showing you here, by the way, this is care for just 1 year, 10 to 20 years down the road. The average length of care for a male at 2.2 years, if they were to spend that time in a nursing home 20 years down the road, you could be looking at out-of-pocket costs of over $547,000. The average length of care for a female is 3.7 years. 20 years down the road, that could be out-of-pocket costs of over $920,000. People with Alzheimer's will live 8 to 20 years with the syndrome. 20 years down the road, you could be looking at out-of-pocket costs of about $1.9 million. I call this the Titanic. The Titanic was built, it was the strongest, biggest, most unsinkable ship ever built at its time. It went down to the bottom of the Atlantic in less than 2 hours. People heading into their retirement, sitting on $1.9 million, are feeling pretty unsinkable. One spouse within this couple gets something like Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, senility, or a variety of other dementia type disorders, and watch how quickly their portfolio goes down, also like the Titanic. But the most telling, the most staggering number or statistic is 70%. And that's the chances that we're going to need long-term care. The problem, most people think they're in the 30%. And by the way, nursing homes are filled with people that thought they'd be in the 30%. So these statistics, these percentages, these costs, these numbers are great. They're great to edify you as to why this is something that's so important for you to be talking about, but it is not how to sell it. The way you want to position this and the way you want to sell this with your clients is by simply asking 2 questions. The first being, look, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, I have no idea if you'll ever need long-term care, but God forbid if you did, have you considered the impact it's going to have on your family, your spouse, your kids who have jobs and kids of their own and homework and soccer practice? Because the very people you swore your whole life that you would always protect are the ones that you impact the most. God forbid you need long-term care. When you ask that question and you position it like that, this is where you're making the sale, not by just showing an illustration or a hypo. This is what's creating the thought process in their mind that they don't have a plan in place. They're lacking a plan, and man, they need one because they don't want to impact their family. It's not just about asset or really income protection. But that does lead us to the second question is, look, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, God forbid you needed care. How are you going to pay for it? What are you currently allocating out of your retirement portfolio to pay for the growing cost of long-term care? You ask these two questions and you just created the doubt in their mind of how important it is to set up a plan for something they have not yet planned for. And this is where you make that perfect segmentation into talking about linked benefits, where live, quit, or die, they're going to get value. And before I get into that, I want to talk a little bit about OneAmerica and our company itself, because one of the biggest black and blue marks in long-term care is the industry. There were a lot of companies at one point doing this. There's been a lot of rate increases, and a lot of companies have left the marketplace. But our financial strength and our fortitude is one of our best stories. We have a 95 Comdex. OneAmerica has been around selling these products over 40 years. Our parent company, American United Life, has been around for over 140 years, and we have fantastic ratings and financial scores. We have a 95 Comdex. We're A+ rated with AM Best, and our Standard & Poor's is a AA-. And once again, we are a mutual company. We are owned by our policyholders. Really, really great story to tell about our commitment to the industry and our financial strength. So let's talk about product. The name of our full product suite is called Care Solutions, which is made up really of just two products: Asset Care, which is whole life combined with long-term care, and Annuity Care, which are annuities combined with long-term care. And what's great is once you understand how even one of our solutions work, you're going to really understand how they all work, because based on their structure, conceptually, they kind of look and all feel the same. The only question is, how do you want to fund the policy? What is your client's financial profile looking like? And where can we find their best premium comfort zone? And that's really how it works. But the way our products work, whether it's our whole life combined with long-term care or annuities combined with long-term care, we start with the base policy, which you're going to fund with a variety of different premium opportunities: single premium, annual pay, 5, 10, or 20 pay, qualified money, or any of our annuity solutions. You'll fund the base of the policy, and that's where you're going to get life insurance. You're going to get a death benefit. Or if it's our annuity contract, you're going to get a base annuity investment. When you need to use the policy for long-term care, you'll use your death benefit first. Or if it's an annuity, you'll use the annuity's value. That's the beginning part of the policy. No one really looks to our products to just get the base of the policy. People want full protection. This would be just like insuring for the garage on fire. People want to insure for the house on fire. So we offer a continuation of benefit rider, which will continue on the long-term care benefit you're receiving from the base for either a defined period of time, a defined dollar amount, or our calling card, an unlimited lifetime benefit of long-term care that can never, ever be exhausted. And we have all these different ways in which to fund the policies. So that's kind of the structure of how our Care Solutions products work. We're going to break it down, obviously, quite a bit more. And we'll start off by talking about asset care. And we have really two different ways to look at it. For people who really want the comfort of full protection, they look at a lifetime solution. But we do have the option of doing a limited benefit amount. And the idea here is all we're doing is we're going to take a small portion of their portfolio and we're going to reinvest that with us. And what I love about our solutions, and it's one of our biggest selling points, is live, quit, or die. Your clients are going to get value out of the solution because they're just going to reposition an asset or reposition some income. They're going to get cash value for doing that, a death benefit, life insurance, and of course, a very healthy long-term care benefit, which would be either a defined benefit amount, or what people really come to us for, and that's a lifetime benefit amount, never ending bank account of long-term care dollars that your clients can never, ever exhaust. And that's definitely, like I said, one of our calling cards. So I like to really show, once again, the structure of how our products work, almost by using a timeline, putting our base and rider side by side and showing you how this works almost in the timeline. So again, we're talking about asset care, which is our life combined with long-term care product. And again, you have the base of the policy, which can be funded with a single premium, an annual pay, a 5, 10, or 20 pay. And I'm going to go into each of those solutions using examples throughout the presentation, so you're really going to understand them. So you'll fund the base of the policy, and that's going to create a death benefit. And then should you need this for long-term care, you'll use that death benefit up. And you have a couple different options on how you can use that death benefit up, how it's spaced out. But once you have exhausted the death benefit for long-term care, you'll have this continuation of benefit rider with either a lifetime benefit or a defined benefit amount. So when you go on claim, the first thing, like I said, is you'll use the base policy till it's exhausted, and then you'll start on the continuation of benefit rider. So here's the funding options with asset care. You can do it on a single premium chassis. You can do it with recurring premiums like annual pay, 5 pay, 10 pay, or 20 pay. We have a fantastic single premium option that has a full 100% return of premium. It's just a single pay, but it gives your clients unbelievable comfortability in knowing no matter what, their money is always available to them. I love the solution for people that haven't wanted to purchase insurance or have high net worth, and we'll go into that. And then finally, we have our solution, which is we call annuity funding whole life. And this is primarily used for people that have a lot of their dollars in qualified accounts, 401ks, IRAs, or 403bs. So let's take a look at some of the features of asset care, regardless which funding solution they went with. Starting with number one, waiver of premium is always included. So if you're funding our product with one of our recurring premium solutions, annual pay, which we call pay to 95, 5 pay, 10 pay, or 20 pay, and should there be a claim, and even if it's a couple, if only the husband or just the wife go on claim, all premiums are waived on the policy. Not only do we waive the premiums, but we still consider that year's premium earned into the policy. Another big feature is a 0-day elimination period on home care. We're going to start paying long-term care expenses day one should you start off on claim at home, which happens greater than 70% of the time. There is a 90-day elimination period on facility care, but every day that you're receiving care at home paid for by OneAmerica will satisfy day for day the elimination period for facility care. We do also offer international coverage. So for your clients that do have homes internationally, it's nice to know that they can receive benefits outside of the country. And we have a fantastic feature, which I'll go into detail. No other company has this. It's called Claims Concierge. We take pride in offering concierge level service from our claims department to our clients. One of the great things about our policy is that you can apply as an individual or you can apply as a couple. And with us applying as a couple, two people can apply together on one premium, on one contract, as long as they're married in a civil partnership or a civil union or a domestic partnership as defined by the state that they live in. So how does our product work with couples? Because it's very, very similar, but just slightly different than individuals. Remember, you have a base and you have the continuation of benefit rider. So you fund the base on either a single pay, annual pay, what have you. And when you need it for long-term care, we're going to look at your death benefit and we're going to accelerate that out over a period of months. And if you're a couple, your two options are to get a 50-month acceleration or a 33-month acceleration. And as we go through examples, you'll really see how this works and breaks down into dollars. So those are your options for the base of the product. We look at your death benefit and we divide it over either 50 months or 33 months. What are the options for the continuation of benefit rider? Well, if you chose a 50-month base payout, your options are to get another 50 months of long-term care, or your second option, which is widely more popular, an unlimited lifetime benefit, which is what I've talked about consistently. If you chose the 33-month option on your base, your options on the continuation rider are to get another 33 months or a lifetime benefit. So you'll always have to match whatever your acceleration is. That is your first option on the rider or lifetime. So 50 to 50 or lifetime, 33 to 33 or lifetime. With singles or individuals applying, it looks very similar, but we offer a third option to accelerate the benefits out for long-term care, and that's 25 months. The rider looks a little bit different as well. It still stays the same if you get a 50-month base. Your continuation of benefit riders are another 50 or lifetime. Same thing, 33-month base, another 33 or lifetime. But with the 25 months, of course, it's going to be 25 months or lifetime, but we throw in this middle flavor there, which offers an option to get another 50 months of long-term care benefits. And we'll talk about how we fund these solutions and all the different options, but I just wanted to give you the basic structure of how the products work. And we'll start off with, and as we get into this, when you see the numbers, you'll really begin to understand how this works. And we're going to start off with the easiest way to do this, which is just with the single premium, which is typically funded with cash equivalents. Very often we're 1035ing cash value out of life insurance policies. But let's take a look at an example. And we're looking at a 60-year-old male and a 60-year-old female here. And in this example, we're bringing over a $175,000 and change single premium. That's creating, and this is all going into both the base and the rider together. That's creating a death benefit or face amount of $200,000, which is creating an LTC monthly benefit of $6,000 per person. This was because we chose a 33-month base payout. So again, we're bringing 175,000 and change over. We're splitting that between the base and the rider. And we're choosing a 33-month payout for long-term care. So that's 200,000 divided by 33 months. That's how we come up with $6,000 a month as the LTC monthly benefit available per person per month. So remember how this works. They put money in to the base and the rider. That 175 is coming in, and it's being split up between the base and the rider. They have a death benefit of 200,000 should they die and never need it. If they have cash value, they'll have cash value. And if they need it for long-term care, well, divided by 33 months, that gives them $6,000 a month per person. They'll exhaust the death benefit first on the base, but when they have exhausted that, that's okay, because this $6,000 a month per person will continue on forever. They can never, ever exhaust it. So if they go on claim at the same time, that's $6,000 a month per person. That would be $12,000 total. And again, that's just going to last forever because they chose a lifetime benefit. And this is what our illustration looks like. And I love to explain this out in the simplest terms to help you explain this out to your clients. And there's basically only three things that can happen with this policy: live, quit, or die. Live and use it for long-term care. Quit, you're going to take your money back, or die, you're not going to use this. And of course, it'll pay out a death benefit. Each one of these columns tells the story of live, quit, or die. And it's quite simply the easiest way to explain this to your clients. So the first here is, of course, your premium amount. That's obvious. Then we have your cash surrender value. That's your quit column. This is if you quit based on the policy year, how much cash would be available, of course, to the client. Then we have your die column, your death benefit. This is a death benefit available. And then these next three columns are your long-term care benefit. This is how much your total long-term care pool would be. And of course, we went with an unlimited lifetime benefit. So it's unlimited. And this lets you know what your monthly benefit would be based on the base and or the rider. And why there's two separate columns here is because you can add inflation protection, which will increase this monthly benefit year over year. to either the base, the rider, or just the rider. So it could look a little different, and that's why there's two columns. Really easy way to explain out the illustration. So we showed you the first way to do this, which is a single premium covering both the base and the rider in one shot. One of my favorite ways really to design this, and really where we look the best, is where you fund the base with the single premium, but you pay the rider off with a reoccurring premium. And I like to do it with an annual pay. So here again, same couple, age 60. And in the previous example, they came up with $175,000 and paid off the whole thing. Here, we're going to use a single premium of $119,000 and change, not $175,000, but we're going to pay the rider off with an annual premium, as you can see here, and it's very small, just over $3,600 a year. That's still creating the same death benefit of $200,000, the same monthly benefit of $6,000. It's just a different way to fund it. So you're coming up with quite a bit less money. They're not having to come up with $175,000. They're coming up with a little less than $120,000 and paying this very small annual premium every year. Remember, waiver of premium is included. So should they go on claim either or both, we will waive this annual premium. One of my favorite ways to do this. And here we're showing you a single pay on the base and an annual premium on the rider. You have different options. It could be an annual pay. It could be a 5-pay option. So one payment every year for 5 years and then you're done. It could be a 10-pay or also a 20-pay. And of course, we showed you in our first example, a single payment, one single payment covering both the base and the rider. One of the great things about our policies is you can make little tweaks to try to make them look more, I say premium friendly, I guess, or more comfortable to suit the client's financial needs. So I'm showing you here on this slide with the 33-month base payout, the single pay and the annual pay rider, the annual premium is $36.70. We can make this look even better by bringing that down, by changing the 33-month base payout to 50 months. And by doing that, we're going to make the LTC monthly benefit a bit smaller. It's going to go from $6,000 a month down to $4,000 a month because we're dividing 50,000 into 200K. We're dividing 50 months into 200K versus 33 months. But we drop that annual premium down from $3,600. We cut premium in less than half by bringing it down to $1,534. So yes, it's a smaller monthly benefit, but for clients that want a smaller annual premium, just small little tweaks, just changing from 33 months to 50 months changes the complexion of what the product looks like. These little tweaks really make a difference. So that's our single premium approach. So you have a single pay on the base and single pay on the rider. You could single pay the base or do a recurring premium on the rider with that, whether it's annual pay, 5, 10, or 20 pay. So let's take a look at a really unique solution, which offers your clients that are maybe not looking to buy insurance, or your clients with a lot of high net worth that could probably self-insure, a really good, kind of hard to say no to option. And it's just our single pay policy with guaranteed return of premium. I love this for high net worth clients that have expressed an interest in self-insuring, because quite honestly, it's kind of what you're doing here. People that have a lot of money very often have it spread out in a lot of different areas. And generally, they're going to have some money sitting in a money market or a cash fund or just in a bank. That's their emergency fund money. That's the money we're going after. That money sitting in a cash fund or a bank, earning little to no interest. Have it sit basically in a bank with us at OneAmerica. Because with return of premium, that money is going to be completely 100% as available to them, sitting in a policy with us as wherever it is sitting right now. And this works very similar to our single premium approach. I mean, that's basically what it is. We're using a single premium to fund both the base and the rider. The difference here, there's actually no added cost to our single pay with guaranteed return of premium. We just limit the policy and how you can design it. The only option on the acceleration is 50 months on the base. And the rider, there is no lifetime or unlimited benefit options. It's just another 50 months. But that's a total of 100 months of long-term care. And look at the value these clients are getting on their money. And again, we're showing you a 60-year-old male and a 60-year-old female. And in this example, they're bringing over a single premium of $200,000. And the $200,000 is, of course, paying both the base and the rider. That's creating a death benefit here of $279,000 and change. But their total long-term care pool, by adding the 50-month continuation of benefit rider, is giving them almost $560,000. So this is what I love. Again, for clients, high net worth, looking for complete, returnability on their money, maybe weren't looking to buy insurance. They're $200,000 that's sitting in a bank account or in a cash fund doing nothing. Have it come sit with us, because day one, day 100, day 1,000, that money, that $200,000 is always 100% accessible to them. They can always quit the policy and get every bit of premium back. The difference, though, if they die and never need this for anything, we're turning their $200,000 into almost $280,000, 100% tax-free as a death benefit. They're not getting that if it's sitting somewhere like in a money market or a cash fund doing nothing. But more importantly, we're turning that $200,000, if they needed it for long-term care, into almost $560,000 tax-free long-term care dollars, to the tune of $5,581, or exactly $5,581 per person per month for long-term care. I absolutely love this. Again, it's perfect for clients that have expressed an interest in wanting to self-insure, because money sitting in the bank, they cash out, they die. We're talking about money that could be taxable. Because again, leaving it where it is right now, they cash out, they're leaving behind $200,000. And should they pass away, that $200,000 is going to go to probate and be taxable. If they need it for long-term care, it's only worth the same $200,000. With us, they cash out, same thing. The $200,000 has the same equality. But if they leave it on, that $200,000, we've added money to it, and it's now 100% tax-free as a death benefit. And of course, its biggest value, if they live and they need it for long-term care, we've absolutely maximized the dollar. I love our return of premium policy. All right, let's talk about one of our more popular ways to fund a policy. This is great for people who have good income, grabbing pensions, pulling RMDs, for people that don't have quite the assets to do a single premium approach. And it's our recurring premium option. And, this is kind of like our answer to traditional long-term care, but with all the benefits and guarantees that you just don't see with traditional long-term care, such as guaranteed premiums, premiums that can never go up, benefits that can never be exhausted, cash value on your money should you ever quit the policy, and of course a death benefit. If you die, all your premiums actually got you something. So there's a few different ways you can fund our policies on a recurring premium. The first is an annual pay, which we call pay to 95. You're going to make annual premium payments until the age of 95, and then your policy's paid up. And then we have our 3 paid up options, which are 20 pay, 10 pay, and 5 pay, which are pretty self-explanatory. You make 20 payments, then you're done, 10 payments, then you're done, and then 5 payments, then you are done. And these are available like our single premium option between the ages of 35 and 80 years old. So let's take a look at a policy here and see what it looks like. So here's our same example of our 60-year-old couple. We'll start off looking at one of our annual pay options, which again, we call pay to 95. And in this example, we have a couple that we're solving for $6,000 a month long-term care benefit per person. And in this example, that's creating an annual premium of a little over $10,300 a year. And that's creating that $6,000 a month benefit, a nice death benefit of $200,000. And this premium coming in annually is paying the base and the rider. And they chose here a lifetime unlimited benefit, meaning they're going to go on claim. get $6,000 a month per person until they use up their death benefit of 200 grand. And when they have, that's okay, because we're just going to continue on that $6,000 per month per person forever on a lifetime benefit. And just like all of our asset care options, you can put inflation protection on this. You can add it just to the rider, or you can add it to the base and the rider together, 3% or 5%. That's our annual pay option. And of course, we have 5 pay, 10 pay, and 20 pay. The numbers just look quite a bit different. Obviously, they're going to be more expensive on our limited pay options. Here's a 5 pay, giving you an idea of what the numbers look like. Here's a 10 pay. And then here is a 20 pay. No need to really go over the numbers. It's the same thing, recurring premium and what have you. But remember, with all of our recurring premium options, whenever a client goes on claim, we are going to waive those premiums. So if you're on one of our limited pay options, like a 10 pay, and it's your 3rd year into the policy, and one of you goes on claim, if you're a couple, your premiums are waived. We make that year's payment into the policy for you. And if it's your 3rd year, you're on claim for the next 7 years, your policy's now paid up and you only made 3 premium payments. It's waiver of premium, and we make those premium payment options for you. Our recurring premium options are definitely one of our more popular funding solutions. So now I want to talk about one of our solutions that really has a lot of sizzle. It's one of the solutions that's very unique. We're the only carrier in the industry that can do anything like this, and it's our ability to work with your clients' qualified money. We call the solution Asset Care Annuity Funding Whole Life. And it's really pretty simple. All we do is we form an IRA at OneAmerica, put that in your client's name, and we're going to roll money out of your client's existing qualified account. We can work with 401ks, 403bs, or of course, their existing IRAs. So we just do a lump sum rollover one time out of your client's existing 401k IRA or 403b. We roll that money into our IRA at OneAmerica, and sitting in that IRA is a fixed deferred qualified annuity. Now, the first function of that annuity is to give your clients an immediate earned income bonus of 10%. Then we take that new money with that 10% bonus and use that over a 10-year period to fund one of our Asset Care recurring 10-pay policies. Let me show you how that works. It's really pretty simple, and it gains a lot of traction. It's a great conversation starter for your clients that are sitting with a lot of their money in a qualified plan. So here's an example where we are going to look at a client. I believe we have a 60-year-old male and a 60-year-old female. And in this example, we're going to grab $200,000 out of the husband's existing IRA. And we're going to roll that $200,000 into an IRA at OneAmerica. And again, of course, the first thing we do is we give it a 10% earned income bonus. So in this example, that's another 20 grand. So we make their 200,000 worth 220,000. And all we're going to do is we're going to use that $220,000 to make 10 equal payments into one of our Asset Care 10-pay reoccurring policies. So in this example, that's $22,000 a year, every year for 10 years, going into one of our 10 pays. And in this example, we chose a 33-month base and a continuation benefit that is unlimited or lifetime. So that $22,000 coming over every year is going to pay both the base and the rider of the product. Now, is this taxable? Yeah, of course it's taxable. We're pulling money out of an IRA, but look what you were able to do here. We grabbed $200,000 in a lump sum out of your client's existing qualified account, and we're using that in one solution, one easy payment for them to completely solve for the problem of needing long-term care, protecting their family and protecting their assets. They're not getting dinged on the $200,000 taxation all up front in 1 year. We're giving them $20,000, which is real money. That's going to help offset this $22,000 a year tax that they're going to pay every year for 10 years while it's being funded. So what would that policy look like in this example? Well, for this 60-year-old male and the 60-year-old female, it would create a death benefit of just under $220,000. An LTC monthly benefit, as you can see, that's the $20,000, 10% earned income bonus. And that's the premium coming over every year to make the payment each year for 10 years. It's going to create a monthly benefit of just under $6,600 per month per person. I know some of the questions are, can't I just leave my money in my IRA and pull money out of that to pay for my long-term care expenses? You can, but your IRA would have to generate almost 40% return in order to generate this kind of a monthly benefit per person. You can also pull money out of your IRA every year and make a payment into one of our 10 pays, but you're foregoing this nice $20,000 or 10% earned income bonus. And with this, it's just easy. It's just one and done. And again, this pays for the base and the lifetime continuation of benefit rider. And the husband is able to add his spouse onto the policy. Historically, you can't buy insurance on two people out of one person's existing qualified account, 401k, IRA, or 403b. In this example, or in our solution, the husband can easily add the spouse to this. As a matter of fact, if the husband isn't insurable, we can still use his IRA to fund a policy that looks exactly like this on just his spouse alone. And remember, we talked about waiver of premium. That's going to work here as well. So if one of them should go on claim, every year that this $22,000 would normally have to come out of the IRA and the annuity to make the payment, it would not have to come out. It would stay in the IRA, in that annuity, and OneAmerica would make the payment on their behalf each year that they're on claim. So if they go on claim year 3 and are on claim for the next 7 years, this policy's paid up. They have a ton of money sitting left in the IRA and in the annuity. They can just roll it back into the existing IRA or qualified account that it came from. Fantastic use of qualified funds. And by the way, this money coming out every year, the $22,000 to make the payment, will satisfy required minimum distributions. All right, I want to talk about something else that's very unique that only OneAmerica has. We call this our spider rider, single premium drop-in rider. This works great with any of our recurring premium options. It works really good for clients who have some assets, maybe not enough to do a full single premium approach, but they're looking at doing an ongoing recurring premium, but can bring over a small amount to help offset and reduce what annual premiums might be, or 5, 10, or 20 pay. It works pretty simple. From the time your clients get issued their policy, if they elect for the single premium drop-in rider, they have 6 months to add up to $100,000 one-time single premium to increase benefits. And I'll show you a really good example where this works, would be right here. Here's a couple, age 53 and 51, 53-year-old male, 51-year-old female. They're showing an annual premium here of a little over $5,800 a year, and it's getting them a $5,000 monthly benefit. If they were to dump in one time $50,000 into this policy, it's going to massively increase their LTC monthly benefit from $5,000 to just under $7,200 per month per person as a long-term care benefit. And of course, it's also going to increase the death benefit, as you can see here, bringing it all the way up to almost $240,000. And it, of course, will likewise increase their cash value. So this is something they can do at the beginning when designing a policy. This works great for clients that might have some cash value in a life insurance policy, not quite enough to do a full single premium, but they're sitting on 30, 40, 50 grand in cash value. You bring that over and then do these annual premiums, a much smaller annual premium, to get to this big LTC monthly benefit than if you weren't to bring that money over at all. It's our single premium drop-in rider, and it's something when used really adds a lot more benefit. So listen, I know I just covered a lot with you in regards to asset care, but what I want you to come away with is not worrying about remembering all the details and all the ins and outs. What I want you to come away with today is remembering your opportunity. You now know you've got a great solution for your clients sitting on a lot of assets, you've got a great single premium approach that has locked-in benefits, lifetime benefits, joint life coverage, which offers two people the ability to put in one premium and go on one contract. You can even play around with how you want to fund the rider on that by doing an annual pay, 5, 10, or 20 pay. You now know you got a great solution for clients that are high net worth and maybe weren't looking to buy insurance with our guaranteed return of premium rider, where their money is always available to them. You got a great option for people that maybe are a little more income heavy, still working, executives, maybe looking to go on a limited pay option, people pulling RMDs and or on pensions with our recurring premium options. And you now have a fantastic solution for the clients sitting out there. And there are trillions of dollars out there in qualified money with our annuity funding whole life approach. But just to look at some of the unique advantages that are built in to all the solutions are, once again, waiver of premium while on claim. And that also includes the fact that OneAmerica will make that premium payment for them while on claim, our ability to work with qualified money and that great 10% bonus, our 0-day elimination period for clients that start off on claim at home. And of course, our single premium drop-in rider. And then our calling card, we've always had lifetime benefits, of course, the joint life coverage and guaranteed premiums that can never, ever go up. An unbelievable bevy of value that you're just not going to see anywhere else. People often ask about underwriting, and I'm actually really happy to say, I'm not going to say that we're liberal, but we're very fair and very equitable when it comes to insuring people. A lot of disorders and medical conditions that, as you can see here, very often are auto declines with other companies. With us, we'll consider, we want to look at it. We want to see what's going on with that individual and see if there's possibly a reason that we can approve them, but we are not auto declining for a lot of the conditions that you would see here. We also happen to have a very, very liberal height and weight build chart, as you can see here. One of the things that I love as a resource for your clients that might be on the cusp of insurability, rather than going through filling out an application only to find out that they're going to be declined, I highly recommend using our PUI form, which stands for pre-underwriting inquiry. As you can see, there's not a lot to fill out here. Just give us their name and info. Mostly, of course, we want to know what conditions they have and what medications they're taking. Send that over to our PUI email address for our underwriters that monitor that, and we get back very, very quickly. We will let you know if that client is insurable and what level of underwriting they may go through, and if not, they might be rated. Another good thing to leave behind with clients once you've taken an application is to prepare them for the phone interview that they're going to go through when we get the health questions for the application. We do that on our side. Leave them with our pre-interview worksheet. It's a great resource to get them prepared, to get them through that phone interview as easily and as effortlessly as possible. So we covered asset care. I told you we really have two solutions. It's asset care and the variety of ways that you can fund that, and our annuity care solutions. And whether you're selling annuities or not, honestly, it's irrelevant. What you need to know is that your clients have them, and they very often become some fantastic funding solutions or funding methods for your clients needing long-term care. So let's talk about the opportunity here, because it's huge. There are currently $2 trillion out there right now sitting in annuity assets, of which almost $220 billion were sold just in the year 2020. And the average age of these people are 51 years old. That's great. These people are generally going to be insurable. So that lent itself an opportunity, as the government saw, to do what they can to try to further privatize more long-term care by adopting the Pension Protection Act. It was passed in 2006. It went live in 2010. And what it allowed for, amongst other things, was the creation of Pension Protection Act annuities, which states this: someone can take an existing non-qualified annuity, do a 1035 exchange into a Pension Protection Act annuity, and all of the gains in their existing annuity that were once taxable, should they ever use it, are now 100% tax-free if used for long-term care, because it's in a Pension Protection Act annuity. So basically, you have someone that buys an annuity, you have the gain, it earns interest, and that interest, should they ever use it for anything, becomes taxable. But if they roll this into a Pension Protection Act annuity, such as annuity care, and we have 3 solutions, all of it, should it be used for long-term care, is now 100% tax-free. And it looks very similar and feels very similar, our annuity care products, to our asset care products. You're just going to fund the base of the product with a single premium coming in. There's an interest rate, which is constantly changing, but there's a guarantee of 1%. There's an interest rate associated to the actual value of the annuity, and a second interest rate for the long-term care value. So you fund the base of the product. It's going to grow with interest. If you ever need it for a long-term care, you'll look at what your long-term care fund is. You'll divide that by 36 months. That gives you how much monthly long-term care benefit you're going to get. That's the base of the policy. And just like asset care, it's still live, quit, or die, you're going to get value out of the product, because the money coming in to the base of the product, if you die and never need it, that's completely payable to a beneficiary. If you need it for long-term care, you'll look at what the interest has grown everything to, and you'll have that total value usable for long-term care, and it's not taxable, even though you rolled this over from an existing annuity that might have had taxation, because it's a Pension Protection Act annuity. And of course, if you want to quit, there's always cash value with surrender charges, 9 years of declining surrender charges. And again, this is just the base of the policy. Nobody looks at our solutions just for the base. You can get an additional continuation of benefit rider with our Annuity Care One product. And your options are to get another 36 months of care, or our widely more popular option is a lifetime benefit option as well. So you start with the base, you move to the rider, and it is just that simple. So our annuity care products that we were talking about, I started with Annuity Care One. Here's a little bit of a better look at it. It's available for people between the ages of 50 to 85, and you can only fund the base with the single premium, but the rider can of course also be funded with that single premium. You can pay the rider off with a second option, which would be an annual premium. And as I kind of just discussed, you have 36 months as a rider option and a lifetime benefit as well. And here's an example of an 81-year-old female. She has $125,000 sitting in an existing annuity. She knows she's really probably never going to use this for income. This was kind of like her emergency fund money. God forbid, if she ever needed long-term care, she was going to need that. And what a great idea. What a great funding solution to take that non-qualified annuity, which if she ever did use for long-term care, she'd pay taxes on the gain and use that annuity and roll it over into our Annuity Care One product. So of that $125,000, $92,000 and change is going to go into the base, and the remaining $32,000 and change is going to go and pay off the rider in one shot. She could have brought the full $125,000 into the base and paid the rider off annually, but most people coming into this that are coming from an existing annuity are just going to roll that money over and be one and done. So that's going to create a long-term care benefit, if it never had a chance to grow, day one of just under $2,900 a month for long-term care. She would need an annuity earning about 26% interest to generate this kind of a monthly benefit if she ever needed this for when she needs this for long-term care. But of course, when she exhausts whatever her base has grown to, because it's going to start at $92,000 and keep growing, but if she needed it day one, she'd get $28.94 per month until she's exhausted the $92,000. But remember, she's going to continue on that $28.94 per month forever because she bought the lifetime benefit rider. Look at what you did here. You took an annuity that this woman was sitting on that only had $125,000 in value, had a lot of taxation associated to that, and turned that into almost $2,900 a month for long-term care, tax-free for the rest of her life. Show me an annuity that can do anything like that. And again, the other option would be to take the 125, put it all into the base, which would create a higher LTC monthly benefit. We'd bring that up to just under $3,500 a month, and she can annually pay off the rider, as you can see right there. But again, most people are just going to single pay the base and the rider. That's annuity care 1. We have another annuity option, annuity care 2, and this is a little bit different. Instead of having the base and the rider as separate funding options, with annuity care 2, a premium comes in, your rider is just included. There's no additional premiums. All the money comes directly into the base. How do we do that? We take monthly deductions off of the interest that you're getting on your base to pay for the continuation of benefit rider. The only option here on the rider is to get a 2.5 times multiplier of whatever your base value is as your total long-term care pool. So this, and by the way, all the annuity care products can be on an individual or a couple. A couple can apply together just like asset care on one product, one contract, one solution. So you would fund the base of the product. And if it's an individual applying, whatever the base has grown to, would be divided by 24 months. And that's how we determine the LTC monthly benefit. If it's a couple, whatever the base has grown to would be divided by 30 months. And that's how we would define the LTC monthly benefit. And the continuation of benefit rider would just be 2.5 times whatever the base value is. That's the total long-term care pool. Another differentiator with annuity care 2 is it caps out at age 80, where annuity care 1 will go up to the age of 85. And here's an example of a female aged 65. And we're going to take $100,000, put this into annuity care 2, and that's going to create $100,000 in base for long-term care. With the rider, that's an additional $149,000 and change for a total pool of almost $250,000 long-term care. That's 2.5 times the base. Not bad value on their money. And the reason why people might like this is, unlike annuity care 1, where if she was bringing over 100,000, some of that would pay the base and a portion of that would be broken off to pay the rider. So if she surrendered the policy, there'd be less cash value there. Here, all the money goes into the base. So there'll be higher cash value out of the gate. We're just going to take monthly charges off of this to pay for the rider. It just gives a little more money up front. I personally prefer annuity care 1 when applicable because I love a lifetime benefit rider, but this is a nice option for people that want to have a little more money up front in the base value. So we have a third option for annuity care, and we're the first and only fixed indexed annuity product that is Pension Protection Act eligible, and this is our indexed annuity product. And it looks similar to the other products where you have a base that's funded with the single premium. And as annuity care 2 is, if an individual goes on claim, it'll be divided by 24 months. If a couple goes on claim, we'll divide that by 30 months. And that's how we determine the monthly benefit. But there's 3 options on the continuation of benefit rider. And that is to get an additional 2 times, an additional 3 times your base as your total long-term care pool, or an unlimited lifetime benefit. And this is available for people up to the ages of 85 years old. It's an indexed annuity, so of course the base is not going to go up with the fixed interest rate. It's going to go up based on a crediting strategy chosen on, of course, the performance of the S&P 500. What I like about the indexed annuity is that there are guarantees involved with this. The first guarantee is no matter what, the clients can never lose money. So regardless of how the S&P index performs, the guarantee is 0 on the base accumulation. But what I also love about this is the bonuses that are associated with this. When the clients need long-term care, they're going to get to choose between one of two very healthy step-up bonuses that will dramatically increase the base's value. One of them is based on the actual performance, and the other is based on what the original premium was. They can get to choose up to a 35% bonus on what the actual base value is, or up to a 50% bonus based on what their original premium is. And that's determined at the time they need long-term care. So here's an example. We have a female age 70 bringing over 150,000 single premium to pay the base and the rider. And like Annuity Care One, you can pay the base with the single premium and the rider as well, all in one shot. Or you could put a single premium into the base and pay the rider off annually. So in this example, 150 is coming in, 112,000 of that will pay the base. The remainder will go in and pay the rider. And if they needed this day one, this would create an LTC monthly benefit of just over $4,700 per month per person. And this is on a lifetime benefit. They would need an annuity earning over 37% interest on a 150 investment to generate this kind of an LTC monthly benefit. I love the indexed annuity product. The other great application for our indexed annuity product is for clients that are applying with us. And we're coming back and we're not fully declining them based on their health conditions. We're telling them they can get the base of one of our annuity products, which is very often what will happen. We approve a lot of applications, but not always approved as applied for. So if it does come back that one of your clients are approved, but only applicable for one of our annuity products and base only, this is where I love the indexed annuity. Number one, all the growth they're going to get out of it is 100% tax-free if they need it for long-term care. But number two, because of the guarantee I mentioned, which of course is zero, they can never lose money. But most importantly, the step-up bonuses that they'll get will dramatically increase their base value when they need this for long-term care. And I talked about another option with the indexed annuity is the ability to fund the base with a single premium and pay off the rider with an annual premium. As far as annuity care, the underwriting is a little bit different. With asset care, we're going to accept their application, do a phone interview, and may or may not go after medical records and or a paramed. With annuity care, we have 5 health questions to be approved for the base of the product, which is a lot more simpler to get applied for. And to get the rider, we're simply going to pull a prescription drug report, and we're going to look at the Medical Information Bureau, and that's it, along, of course, with a phone interview. There's never a paramed. There are never medical records, so it's a little bit easier to get approved with annuity care and certainly goes a bit quicker. One of the things that really stands out with OneAmerica is, remember, we're a mutual company. We're owned by our policyholders, and our ability to not just pay claims, but to really take care of our clients while on claim is something that is absolutely paramount to us, and that shows with our care benefit concierge. What I love about our claims concierge is when your clients call in, the first person they speak to is the only person they're going to speak to. They're going to look at what their possible plan of care could be, discuss that with them. But the bottom line is they will never have to tell their story again to another person in the claims department. The person that they speak with, their concierge consultant, will be with them throughout the lifetime of the claim. It's one of those things that really stands apart. I mean, the benefits and all these funding solutions offer a lot of flexibility and opportunity for you and your clients, but it really comes down to what's this going to be like during claim time, and to know that your clients are going to be able to count on someone and rely on someone to really be there for them. Our claims concierge is absolutely priceless. So I want to talk about some of the tools and resources that we have that really help you guys in doing business with us, making it easier. First of all, I included some great handouts in today's presentation. One of them is our link benefit point of sale toolkit. This is something that is incredible. It goes through every step of the sales process that you'll need when presenting our solutions to your client, beginning with having the conversation. There's a fact finder there that walks you through exactly what information to get from your clients. Then there's how to get an illustration from us. We have 5 great videos on there, or several videos on there, that give you a little primer on each solution before you speak to your clients. There's a great video on there on how to explain the illustration to your clients, and a lot of other valuable resources. I also included the product guide for you today, a copy of the PowerPoint that I'm covering here, the 2 questions that I covered that you want to ask your clients to help develop the need, and a great piece for you to work with consumers, showing you how easily a very sustainable or a large portfolio can be reduced and brought down significantly for a couple with only one person needing long-term care. One of the things that we have that is truly unique is an enormous amount of resources to help you in marketing to consumers via our One America marketing store. We have print assets, incredible email drip campaigns. It's almost like having a constant contact with ready to go content, as well as great social media made available to you. If this is something that you're interested in and would like to learn more about, you're going to get a follow-up email from me within the next day or two as a follow-up to today's presentation. Let me know, and I'll gladly set up a one-on-one with you and our marketing department. Something else, and this is, I'm going to go off camera for a second. I want to walk you through our rate calculator. This is a fantastic tool, accessible through your iPhone, Droid, or device, and it really is an incredibly easy tool to use that can help you generate a quote in about 30 seconds.
So to get to our rate calculator, I've included the link right here, OneAmerica.com. Care Solutions Rate Calculator. Just click this link and it's going to bring you to this page. And you'll just scroll over to the bottom and to the right, and you'll see where it says Calculate Benefits Now, and you'll click that, and you'll attest to that, yes, you are a financial professional, because this site is not for consumers. And it will bring you here to this page where you can then put in your information and then fill out the information that you would need. And I've pre-filled this in the interest of time. But at the top, you'll also see there's tabs here where you can quote for asset care, or quote for annuity care. Here, we're going to do asset care on a joint life. You just indicate your state, the product here, whether it's an individual or a couple. And we have John and Jane Jones is filling out their age and their gender, whether they smoke or not. Now we're going to look at the product funding options. Do we want to do recurring premium? And if I click that, then you would have the option to go annual pay, 5, 10, or 20 pay, or single premium. And then, of course, you could check off the return of premium option, which we talked about. That's that great option for high net worth clients. Then you'll choose how you want to accelerate the death benefit out for long-term care, either 33 or 50 months. Here we're choosing 50. And then you'll choose how you want to solve. Do you want to solve for a premium amount or a monthly benefit? You know, you're working with clients that have to have $6,000 a month. That's what they're sold on. So in this example, we're going to use a premium amount of 125 grand. And now we have the continuation of benefit rider. How do we want to fund that? When you're doing a single premium on the base, remember, you can do an annual pay, 5, 10, or 20, or single pay on the rider. My favorite's an annual pay, which is paid to 95. With the lifetime benefit, let's not look at inflation protection here. And then you just click calculate, which will churn out the results, which, as you could see, end up right over here on the right. So here's that initial premium of 125, creating a death benefit of 236,000 and change, a monthly benefit per person of $7,107. And again, that's per person, which comes out to $85,000 a year. So if they go and claim at the same time, it's well over $14,000 a month. So the single pay premium is 125, and I chose this where we're looking at an annual premium of $43.47 for this couple. Very inexpensive annual premium, where they're each going to get over $7,100 a month per person on a lifetime benefit. And then you can just click create PDF so you can see this in its illustration form. Just save it on your hard drive, of course, send it over to your client, go over it with them. But it is a real easy to use software. As you see, I ran that quote in like 20, 30 seconds. The PDF that it puts out is very nice. It's only about 3-4 pages, very easy to understand, and even better, easy to explain. This is just a graphical representation of what we just showed you, $1.25 premium with a death benefit of $236,000 and change, the $7,100 a month benefit. Over here, it's breaking down the base and the rider. Really, really easy to use. And this will work, by the way, on all mobile devices, whether you're Droid, iPhone, tablet, iPad, what have you, it will work on all of those devices. So now I want to talk about the compensation on our product. This is something that we enhanced when we went to our new asset care in 2019. So if you're doing a single premium approach, as you could see here, you're going to get 8% commission on whatever is going into the base and the rider. If you're doing any of our recurring premium approaches, if it's an annual pay, you're going to get 90%, whether it's base, rider, it doesn't matter. Anywhere there's a recurring premium and it's annual pay, base or rider, it's 90% with a 3% trail for up to 10 years. If you're on a 5-pay, it's 25% with a 3% trail. Whoops. And if you're on a 10-pay, it's 45%, and on a 20-pay, it's 75%. Again, with a 3% trail. On the annuity products, Annuity Care 1, depending upon the age, ranges from 2.75 to 4.75% commission, and Annuity Care 2 is a flat 6.5% with indexed annuity at 6%. If you want these numbers, we can send you the comp grid. Your BGA should also have this information. So before I let you go, I want to talk to you about a program that I really think you're going to like. This is based on doing virtual consumer workshops. Basically, every Tuesday at 6 p.m. and every Thursday at 2 p.m., both times Eastern, I do a consumer presentation that only goes for 25 minutes that you are able to invite your clients, consumers, and prospects to. What's great about this program is I don't just host this workshop and say, hey, you're on your own and trying to get your consumers and clients there. We give you an enormous amount of marketing support to help drive your clients and customers to this program. So this program was based on the 3 major aspects that makes the workshop successful: preparation, content, and immediate follow-up. So I have a step-by-step guide and step-by-step instructional video that helps you through every aspect of the program, including how to identify your clients, an invitation, which my marketing team will send out for you on your behalf with all of your contact information, headshot, and your reply to email address. And we keep this pretty organized and very easy to implement. The content itself, like I said, it's a pretty powerful 25-minute presentation that we deliver with myself on camera going through a PowerPoint. Most importantly, it's compelling, hits on urgency, and hits on clients' hot buttons as to why they need to take immediate action in planning for long-term care. And then the follow-up, this would work with either myself, my internal, or the marketing organization that you work with, where we'll do a virtual planning session with you and your client, where we'll present a hypo illustration as well as the correct solution, complete with helping taking the e-application. So just to give you some glances of how the program works, here's the step-by-step guide, starting with getting a list of your clients and prospects together, and we help you identify that with a piece showing you how to do that. Then the invitations go out, which is done by my marketing team. We just need your information, headshot, and your contact list. You'll then call your clients and prospects because you're going to get a tracking report letting you know who opened the invitation. We even give you a phone script to help guide you through registering your clients to the workshop. We'll send out drip emails as well. And then, of course, the setting of the virtual planning session, we give you a lot of tools to help you with that. But this is what the invitation looks like. It would have your headshot here, all of your contact information here with the link for your clients to register. Here's what the tracking report looks like, letting you know which of your clients have opened the email. And it's even sorted by who's opened the email or clicked on images or links around in the email the most. So you'll have a phone script to call those people up and get them there. This is what the presentation looks like. Again, me on camera delivering a very compelling presentation on why it's so important to plan for long-term care. And then, of course, the follow-up, a virtual planning session with your agency, myself, or my internal, and your client, where we're doing a share screen or a conference call presenting a solution. So your next call to action is, number one, I highly encourage you to attend this training again. As I indicated, you'll get a follow-up email to this that will have the handouts that we talked about, along with another invitation to join. But start thinking about clients that fit the molds of the solutions that we talked about. And don't worry about remembering how these solutions work. Just remember your opportunity. So what we're going to do now is we're going to launch a poll that will give you an opportunity to opt into our virtual consumer workshop program. Pretty simple, just vote yes or no. We'll keep it open for about a minute and change. Shouldn't take you too long to do that. So let's go ahead and launch that poll. And by the way, of course, this program is absolutely free. Even the fact that we're having our marketing team do all the invitations and tracking for you using our marketing store, it's just a service and an offer that we provide.